YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, back in Total War Warhammer 2, and I've got some FFA action for you here. This is actually going to be fought with folks who are on my Discord server. We're going to play on the Warpstone Crater map, and I'm going to be playing the Lizardmen, and inspired by one of my own recent videos based on a build that a viewer sent me, I went on full skink Croxagore nonsense. Figuring that this would make for a lot of fun, because, yeah. Anyway, so it's 6 cohorts with javelins, 6 Croxagores, 1 Saurus Scar Veteran on a Carnosaur, and then Mazda Mundi. And I've got the healing Apotheosis, and I think Curse of the Midnight Wind was another one. Yeah, and I may have held on to one other spell. I honestly don't remember. But that's going to be my army. I'm going to be charging into the Vampire Coast, as I figured the terrain would help give me some benefits against these guys who would likely rely on artillery. There's going to be a Siren on either flank for them, a couple of polearms, a few zombie deckhand mob, 3 deck gunners, 2 carronades, and there's going to be a Gunnery Wight and Count Noctilus, and he's on foot. Let me go into slow-mo here. The High Elves are out here with a couple of Dragon Princes, Teclis, and a Noble. And then the rest of their army, there are 2 Phoenix Guard, one of which took a hit from the Tomb Kings. We'll see their army in a minute. There's going to be 4 Spears. Looks like 3 Archers in the back, or 4 Archers in the back. And then the Tomb Kings are led by the Grand Hierophant Ketep. And there's even a 2nd Casket of Souls. Sorry, make it 3 Casket of Souls. With Ketep, holy crud. Talk about artillery here, folks. Which means that the infantry's mostly cheap stuff, but the backline has 4 Tomb Guards with halberds. Wow. And then we've got an Ushabti with Great Bow for some additional ranged damage. So a range-focused Tomb Kings. And it looks like some Morn Ghouls deployed behind me. What is this aura going around on all my lizards right now? It's like all this misty weirdness going on here. Anyway, let's hit plate. I'm going to go full YOLO on the Vampire Coast. And my goal here is to use the skinks as frontline fodder so that I can just Croxadoze my way right on in to the guns and artillery. So we're going to attack, but just bulldoze our way through. Probably should have stopped to throw all my javelins. I just didn't want to. So here it comes. The Croxagore Bulldozer. And you all have to forgive my voice. It's just about to go out. Everybody at work has the plague right now. And I'm not really sick, but I can tell my body is fighting it. Comes a somewhat brutal pit of shades in here. Yikes. Gets a little damage done, but not too bad. He pulled back from my initial attempts to pull through, and my Croxagores got slowed down. But with all of the skinks, my Croxagores are able to maintain their push, while the skinks occupy the units from the other side. I brought Mazda Mundi in to do damage to the Siren because he does magical attacks. Those Morn Ghouls are going to get into me. Not terribly concerned about them right now. Could have turned my Carnosaur on them, but I'm more worried about getting rid of all the damage potential. So I really want to get rid of the artillery and the deck gunners. And fortunately for me, the terrain makes it more difficult for the deck gunners to participate. So works out nicely for me in this case. Mazda Mundi is one slow toad, but we'll have to make do. Yeah, so you can see my Croxagores have just absolutely crumbled the lines for the Vampirates here. Easier than saying Vampire Coast, I guess. See how he's trying to fall back and keep firing, and it's not a bad strategy, but when I see him do it, I'm just going to charge into the next unit and keep him on the move. Decided to go attack the Gunnery Wight here too. I don't think he's going to much like fighting Mazda Mundi at close range. But at the same time, I don't want to leave him out there to become a target potentially for these deck gunners. Noctilus is going to be an absolute tank in this. He's anti-large, He can heal. He's going to be a real tank. He's also not mounted, which means he's just going to get knocked around a lot. And he'll avoid a lot of damage. You can see right now he's barely even scathed. Sirens are a bit of a problem because they cause terror. And none of my units over here have magical attacks. It's really just Mazdamundi. But as soon as I get finished dealing with some deck guns, I have a plan for the Sirens. I have a banishment that shouldn't end up hurting my Kroxigors too badly. And with the Sirens up in here, I'll just drop the banishment and get rid of them. But you'll see this real quick. And if y'all are wondering what's going on the other side of the battle, I'm going to go record it and splice it in. So don't worry. It ended up just kind of being a 1v1 on both sides. And obviously the results go get finished out in the middle. But yeah, that got rid of pretty much all the Sirens for me right there. That banishment. So they are toast. Mazdamundi KO'd all the Sirens. I'm going to have to run away from this Gunnery White. He's going to keep shooting me, but it won't be too bad. I want to get up here and use my special ability so I can give some extra protection to my troops. Noctilus is just up here tanking like an absolute boss. These Morn Ghouls were forgotten, fortunately for me. So they haven't been playing a role for a little while. They chased off some of my skinks. A few of my skinks regrouped, and they're over here fighting these deck mob. Noctilus is just over here getting ragdolled, and so it's taken me a long time to kill him. All the units are fighting over who gets the chance to hit him. Check that out. That is such a wicked looking bombardment. Did some nice damage too. So Noctilus is not playing as nice as I'd like. I do have a ton of magic, but I'm trying to save all my extra spells and magic. My bound spells and my winds of magic spells. I'm trying to save as many of them as I can for the late game. Because obviously at this point I expect to move past the Vampire Coast and engage in a late game matchup. And since my infantry took a big beating, I'm going to need all the magic I can get so I can heal. I also have Arcane Unforging, which is good for taking out weakened lords. And yeah, so I've got all those things available to me. Just trying to bide my time properly. Yeah, you can see it's just a fight with Noctilus here. The Morn Ghouls did come back over, and so I sent the Carnosaur to greet them, and the Carnosaur is more than a match for these guys. The Morn Ghouls are an anti-infantry unit, meant to go against light armor, not against an armored anti-large unit. So they're definitely outmatched here. There was an Arcane Unforging you heard right there. I wanted to go ahead and start getting Noctilus dead, because I don't want him to be able to keep reusing his abilities or anything else to cause more damage. Let's watch these Haunters. Woo, the tail sweep. So no problem on the cleanup for the Carnosaur. And that just leaves Noctilus over here, and then his Gunnery White. The Gunnery White, I left him down here. He is shooting, probably causing some damage. I did get some regrouped units. I probably should have split off a couple of the Kroxigors to go give this guy a beating. But he's in for it now, and he knows it. Tick-tock, here comes the Croc. Ha ha ha. Yeah, this guy's not going to be loving life right now. Those Kroxigor attacks are hilarious. I absolutely love it. It's really spectacular. Anyway, I'm going to fast forward this because it's pretty obvious. that this guy is not going to last. And then I'm going to now switch over and show you what happened on the other side of the battlefield before we converge for a final fight. Alright, here's the other fight. I also had to grab myself a throat lozenge, so if it sounds like I have something in my mouth, it's because I do. Oh, my artillery. Let's check this out, the bombardment. Those Phoenix Guard. That artillery is magical too, so there will be no physical resistance for the Phoenix Guard. Just instant losses. It's actually a pretty good map for that artillery. Its arc of fire will allow it to position anywhere and be pretty effective, whereas more straight line artillery would struggle. Let's get some footage of these elves moving into position so that you all can see this side of the fight, but why not get some cinematics to start with? Wow, they're taking a beating. That'd be the Ashabti with the great bows there that you all saw just putting a hit there. Wow. So let's see how the Tomb Kings are set up to receive this. They've turned their line to fight the approaching High Elves. Oh my goodness, those archers. The artillery is picking apart the range for the High Elves. The archers are going to target the Tomb Guard. Probably a solid choice.
An enemy wizard is casting.
Let's see what we can watch here. Looks like the Dragon Prince is maybe going to try and break through the skeleton spears. There's a lot of halberds nearby though. Yeah, they're just going to punch through and try and get to the back line. But that's a lot of Tomb Guard pursuing. There are some spearmen coming in to help out. But I think the damage here will be pretty significant. Oh, and then a sandstorm. Ketep drops it right on the Dragon Prince. One of them takes some pretty significant damage. Teclis was using Flaming Sword, and this Noble has managed to get into the Ashabti with Great Bows, doing a lot of damage. Ketep now focusing these Dragon Princes. I think he's concerned about getting charged here, as he should be, but there are halberds nearby, and a second Ashabti with Great Bow. Here come the Dragon Princes. There's a Realm of Souls healing active on the Tomb Kings right now. Their infantry is going to be fairly tanky here. The Phoenix Guard are still a ways off. One unit was able to clean up one of the Tomb Guards. The other Phoenix Guards being held way back. The archers were held back too. Teclis is going to drop a Chain Lightning on that melee blob. It's going to clean up a few kills. Not bad. The artillery, though, is just shutting down the elf archers. We've still got this Casket of Souls, and we've got Ketep on his Casket of Souls, and the third one, too. Such an oh, man, the archers are blobbed up. Oh, and then the Phoenix Guard over here fighting. There's hardly any Tomb Guards left, so that's going to be great shots. Right now, the High Elves really need to get to that artillery, but it's not going to be easy to do for the sheer number of Tomb Guards with halberds. But here comes a charge. The Dragon Prince is going to try to get it done. It's just there's so much protection. Teclis using Doomflock to try and help out, but he's kind of helpless at this point. The Ashabti get raised right in the middle of those archers. They should be able to clean that up. This regrouped archer is going to take a hit. Looks like the Phoenix Guard and archers are probably going to be the best targets for the remaining ammo. the number of kills on the Casket of Souls is significant. They've gotten almost 300 kills between all 3 units. But there's a decent amount of High Elf infantry left, but again, a lot of Tomb Guards with halberds. One who's Shopti with Great Bow is nearly gone, and it's going to take a lot of ammo with it. The other one is in good health, and Teclis is just eating it. Another Sandstorm here from Ketep. He's about to top that 100 kill mark, and he does. Artillery doing a good job focusing out the Phoenix Guard. Yeah, sorry I'm not talking quite as much as usual, but maybe to some of you that's a good thing. Teclis is back. He's using that Doom Flock, trying to pull down some of the Tomb Guards, but the artillery here is just relentless for the Tomb Kings. Definitely over 300, or yeah, over 300 kills for all the artillery now. Teclis definitely getting desperate here, but not gonna work with the Phoenix. And the Tomb Kings are kind of in a slow wrap-up process here against the High Elves of Appius. So Halo wrapping things up while the Colonel and I duking it on the other side. Look at that, 95 kills, 123, 107. Now, Ketep did have some kills that were spells. An interesting Tomb King army for this type of game. Just tons of anti-large and long range. So just trying to keep an enemy at bay and do the damage from range. Have to say it worked out fairly well for him here in this case. So you all can kind of see what's left on this side. And it's at this point I'm still finishing up Count Noctilus. So I'll just fast forward a second while we're taking out his gunnery white. And then I'll let you all see what happened. So that was the point at which I finished off the gunnery white. Now remember at this point in time that the High Elf player and the Tomb King player don't know what troops I have left because they don't have visibility to the side of the map. So at this point, they know I'm the only one left. And then they see a Scar Veteran crest the peak, and all of a sudden a horde of Croxigors. And needless to say, the Tomb King's player was not real excited to see all these troops cresting the peak and heading his way, not the least of which was Mazdamundi. Ooh, look at that epic entrance. Slow floating. And at this point, Mazdamundi has 30 Winds of Magic, a decent reserve, because I didn't have to use it. I've got both Ruination of City uses, and I have 1 Banishment. And remember that he's also got Protection of the Old Ones. And I've got Apotheosis, so I've been healing my Scar Veteran and Mazdamundi. So I have a pretty significant force here. The Tomb Kings are pretty well set to hold me off. They've got a little bit of ammo left on their Shopti with Great Bow. Fortunately for me, their artillery's gone. But they do have a couple of Tomb Guards with halberds. And the units that I have are not going to be well suited to taking these out, so I'm going to require my magic to help me get the job done. Ketep, of course, probably still has a little magic. This guy looks awesome. I'm going to let you all take in the awesomeness real quick while I get some water so that hopefully I can continue to commentate this. And I'll kind of just let you watch the action here as my army approaches. Yeah, as you can see, my Scar Veteran is paying a hefty price at the hands of those who Shopti. But I knew I could run him out of ammo, and then I just started using Apotheosis. So that was my goal there, was hoping that he would use his ammo on one of my units that was easy to heal, rather than the Kroxigors. A lot of my skinks, or sorry, one of my skinks had some javelins. It's going to throw them. Skinks are going to act as fodder. And then we're going to bring in the Kroxigors and the Scar Veteran. I'm kind of just waiting for the right moment to use Ruination of Cities. Don't feel like that moment is now. And then these Dragon Princes from the High Elves had regrouped and came after me, so got a bit of a problem. The Tomb Kings actually quickly destroy what's left of my infantry lines. I did get some damage done, but not a lot. And then Mazdamundi's in trouble back here, getting hit by Dragon Princes. So I bring the Carnosaur over to help bail him out. Continuing to use Apotheosis. At this point, I just need to keep my troops alive.
Our resolve is failing. There is no hope.
Definitely turned into a bit of a free-for-all here. I forgot to mention, and I don't think it got shown, I used one of my Ruination of Cities earlier, at least I think I did. And almost all of it just like went and hit them out. I can't remember if I did or not. I may have. I have at least one more Ruination of Cities, and I still have my Banishment. So my goal at this point, I tried for the engagement, it didn't work. I just need this Kroxigor to regroup so that I can blob the Tomb Kings and finish them with Mazdamundi's magic. So that's my goal, is to either isolate and destroy, or blob and magic. And I did get my Kroxigor back. The Tomb Kings are going to fall back and regroup. And at this point, it was pretty funny. The High Elves of Appius and the Tomb Kings of Halo were cooperating against me, which I thought was fine. It was fun. They definitely want to take me out the game. Right now, I'm still a little bit behind Halo points-wise. So here you're going to see I'm going to get the Spearmen separated, rear charge it, and get rid of it. While the Mazdamundi's just kind of a distraction over here. This allows me to single out these two Spearmen. So we're able to get rid of all the High Elves in this vicinity. And that leaves me with just the Tomb Kings to deal with. They're out of ranged ammo, but they've got a significant number of halberds. Anti-armor here with the Ushabti. And Ketep is still alive, so their leadership is very much intact. He does not know the state of my Winds of Magic, which is good. And he also does not know that I have my bound spells. So I'm going to charge in the Kroxigors, attempting to create that blob that I want. But he's not biting. Not yet. So I go ahead and go for one of his units of halberds. He moves at the last second. And that was a horrible Ruination of Cities. It's random. And it just didn't work. I still have one left. One Ruination left. So I'm going to go ahead and just throw this other Kroxigor in back here and try and do some damage. I feel like I still have a pretty decent chance at pulling this off. All I need to do is create a blob and use my Vortex spells. So I keep using Apotheosis. Heal my units as best I can. I'm going to drop an Arcane on Forging on the Grand Hierophant because I have some extra magic, and that'll get him low. He's using his Arcane Conduit back here. So there we go. I'm going to unforge him. It's going to end up being pretty effective. So we did some good damage to Ketep there. And now I'm kind of ready for a final engagement. My goal is going to be to bring this Carnosaur in here and force him to blob. If I can get in towards the center of his army, I think I can make him blob me. there's the maneuver. Carnosaur gets in where I need him, starts attacking, draws in 2 of the halberds, not all of them. And I'm going to drop the banishment right on top of my Carnosaur. They didn't expect this because it's so late in the game. And it works rather well. So all of a sudden, 1 unit of halberds gets really, really beat up. And that's good too because it has that incantation on it. I'm going to pull out for just a second because I've also got my Ruination of Cities nearly ready. I'm going to charge back in and pick off Ketep, who was vulnerable. And he is dismounted from his Casket of Souls by the Carnosaur. Now the Tomb Kings are in trouble. Their leadership is low. And the crumbling mechanic is going. My Carnosaur is chomping away. Put the protection of the, I think that's the Shield of the Old Ones there. There's the Ruination of Cities. That one worked a little better for me. And at this point I should be able to finish mopping up the Tomb Kings. And take home a victory here with my Croxadozer army inspired by the replay submitted. The Skink Croxagore combo. I liked it so much I just had to try it. This game is so epic. It's probably good that I can't talk. You just get to sit here and watch it instead. Casket of Souls is such a cool unit. That just leaves the Ashopti. Carnosaur is going to tail whip his way to victory. And Mazdamundi is using his little magical attack so he barely has to lift a finger. That's going to be it, folks. Good game to my opponents. It was a fun match. Really was. So thanks Halo, thanks Colonel, thanks Appius, or Jarl of the Appian Way. Let's take a look at the MVPs here. In terms of most kills, Grand Hierophant Ketep actually comes home with the most kills. We don't exactly know who does the most damage. I hope that CA starts reporting that. Here's the kills for the High Elf units of Appius. And here is the Vampire Coast results there from Colonel, who gave me one heck of a fight there with Count Noctilus. That guy just did not want to die. He killed a ton of skinks with his Mornghouls, and they almost pulled off the kill MVP, but they were just slightly outdone by Ketep. Decent number of kills across all my Croxagores. Some of my skinks even doing pretty decent, but obviously the Carnosaur and Mazdamundi were meant to be the killer part of this army. The Carnosaur was meant to be protection for Mazdamundi because I knew he was going to be so slow. I had to have something really good at anti-large. And then obviously this army was just meant to have a whole lot of anti-infantry capability to try and quickly punch through anything I come up against. So that was the goal with it. Ended up working out decent here. So thanks for the game. Appreciate those who played it with me. If you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. I got to let my voice get well. And if it's not well by tomorrow and I miss a day, you all know why. But if it is better, I'll be back recording some for you then. HeirofCarthage, signing out.